Alright, so we looked into what I like to call the priority tier list for whenever global does come out, but today I am actually going to be breaking down this tier list even more so and be talking about what I like to call the top 5 units for each different category we have in game. Alright, so for those who don't know or don't play Black Clover Mobile a lot, there are 5 different categories, okay? We have supporters, we have healers, defenders, debuffers, and then attackers in the game. Now, today's video is going to cover support type units, and then the next one's going to be covering healers, defenders, debuffers, and attackers, but I'm going to be going through and giving you guys my top 5, in my opinion, what I think is going to be, the best of each category, and I am going to be breaking them, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, number 1 being the best, number 5 being like the quote-unquote worst out of the 5, but still very, very viable if you have a low amount of options. But yeah, we're gonna dive in. So if you guys are ready to go down there, drop a like, hit the sub button, and yeah, we're gonna look into things. Also, huge or just a small announcement: you do not want to miss tomorrow's video. Okay, if you aren't subbed yet, go down there, sub. I promise you, you are not gonna want to miss it. That is all I can say. Okay, so wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Go sub if you haven't yet. But yes, coming in at number 5. Okay, so I actually chose Noelle. So Noelle, fun fact, was actually my first LR unit that I had built up. She is actually really, really good, and she does offer barrier. You guys know how disgustingly broken barriers are in this game. On her first skill, applies increased defense level 1 to the ally with the lowest health for 2 turns, pretty solid. And then second skill applies a barrier equal to 120% of magical attack for an ally for 2 turns, 80% chance to dispel freeze. This one's nothing too crazy, but the fact that she can do a barrier for an ally for 2 turns, pretty solid actually. And then the ultimate is actually an AoE barrier, equal to 180% of magic attack for all allies, and then it applies increased defense level 3 to all allies for 2 turns. So ultimate, very, very solid. Very, she plays such a good support type role. I was honestly surprised she is a supporter and not a defender because of everything that she offers, but yeah, she's very, very good. And then the combined attack applies increased attack level 4, 30% chance to apply a stun on an enemy for 1 turn. So yeah, pretty darn good, I would say. For an SR unit, this is not bad at all. The AoE barrier itself is honestly very, very good, and then on top of that, you are getting an increased defense. So yeah, honestly, very solid. If you are running low on options whenever you do start the global version, for a support type unit, yeah, this unit is definitely one you can use for a little while until you get someone better. Yeah, so moving on to number 4, we have Sally. So I chose Sally as number 4. First skill, 90% lifesteal, nothing too crazy. And then the second skill is kind of where she pops off. Applies increased magic attack level 4 to an ally for 2 turns. Applies increased crit rate level 4 to an ally for 2 turns. And then 60% chance to extend buff duration to an ally for 2 turns. So very, 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 very good. And then when it comes to her ultimate, applies increased all attack level 3 to all allies for 2 turns. And then applies increased crit damage level 2 to all allies, but was the same attribute for 2 turns. So this one I'm not the biggest fan of because of the fact that it is very selfish, but only for red units. So yeah, if this was kind of for all allies, just get rid of the whole same attribute thing, I do think she would be a lot better, and I feel like a lot more people would use her. But unfortunately, she is only kind of selfish for red type units. But yeah, even with the whole same attribute for red typing, she is still a very, very good unit you can use for others. So if you need support type units or buffers, this unit is one you can definitely take. If you have her, be happy. That is why she's honestly Seasonal Noelle's best partner, because she can get the crit damage level 2 because they are both red typing. So super duper OP, very good. When I say she's a PvP unit, not real. Only reason why you see her in PvP right now is because of her and Noelle, but take out Noelle, you're really not going to see her in PvP like that. Definitely more of a PvE unit in my opinion. Then combined attack applies increased magic attack level 5 to your partner's attack, and then a 50% chance to apply 10% increased stamina. So super duper good. For those who don't know, in this game it is stamina before speed. All right. But yeah, moving on to number 3. So number 3, 2, and 1, I kind of had a little bit of difficult choosing, but for number 3, I did decide to choose Finral. So Finral, goated, y'all know, one of the best SRs in the game. He applies a increased speed level 2 to 2 allies with the lowest stamina for 2 turns. Very broken. That's for his first skill as well. Second skill applies increased attack level 2 to all allies for 2 turns. And then if the designated ally has an increased crit rate buff, applies 10% increased crit damage to them for 2 turns. Very good, offering that attack roll and the increased damage. Super duper solid. Ultimate applies increased speed level 3 to all allies, 60% chance to dispel a debuff from an ally, and then a 50% chance to apply increased crit rate level 3 to an ally for 2 turns. Very solid, very broken. If you get this off, then pretty much you do get this off, which is super duper good. But yeah, for those who don't know, in this game it is stamina before speed, which is why Voltos is a little bit better than Finral when it comes to, you know, allowing your units to go first. But both are extremely solid. And then combined attack applies increased attack level 4 to your partner's attack, and then a 50% chance to apply 50% increased stamina to your partner. Very good, very broken. One of the best units in the game, honestly. Super solid for both PvE and PvP, no matter what. Voltos, okay? Voltos number 2 applies 10% increased stamina to your ally with the lowest stamina. Super duper solid. And then the second skill applies increased magic attack level 3 to an ally for 2 turns. 50% chance of applying block stamina reduction to an ally for 1 turn. This is huge. Okay, this is actually really, really good. If you can get this buff off, then pretty much you're not going to be slowed down in terms of stamina, which can be extremely powerful for PvP. PvP, not really, but yeah, PvP, this is something very, very disgusting. And then the ultimate applies 20% increased stamina. Super broken. This is why all your, you know, your enemies kind of go first if Voltos does go first. So yeah, this is so good, so good. And then combined attack applies increased crit rate level 5 to your partner's attack, and then a 50% chance of applying 10% increased stamina. So yeah, another way to increase your stamina, allowing you to potentially go first and ahead of your enemies, which can be so goated. So definitely, like, actually I would say they're both of them, both Finral and Voltos, do very similar things, and they're both extremely top tier for PvE. And nonetheless, I shouldn't even have to say this, but yeah, absolute goats when it comes to PvP. So they're either way, whatever team you're fighting against on PvP, you will always see one or the other, or in worst case scenario that is very bad for you, you see both. But yeah, both are extremely good. And then that brings me to number 1 support type unit. I am basing this list off of overall versatility in terms of, you know, both being able to run in both PvE and PvP. So that is why I am putting my boy William Vengeance as number 1 support type unit. He just offers way too much, you know, has a 40% chance to transform an enemy into a tree. So essentially that's a free stun, which is broken. Second skill applies increased attack level 4 to an ally for 2 turns, applies increased speed level 4 to an ally for 2 turns, and then when an ally stamina is at 50% or below, has a 60% chance to apply 30% increased stamina to them. This is huge. This is very huge. This is a huge amount in increased stamina. So if you get this off, this is honestly very good for PvP as well. And then the ultimate applies fortified level 3, and then applies counter attack to the ally with the highest attack stat, which is super duper good, which is why, you know, William and Red Yami was such a really good combo for season 1, because of the fact that, you know, you kind of get the counter attack for Yami. Yami goes in, has a single I'm sorry, not single target, but an AoE skill 1, which is extremely broken. So yeah, those two are just goated, but he is so good. And then the combined attack applies increased defense penetration at level 4, so just another way to kind of tear down your enemy's defense and, you know, doing more damage. Then the passive, 30% chance of applying 10% increased stamina when being attacked, broken. And then a unique passive applies fortify to all allies for 1 turn upon using a special skill. So yeah, William, I had to put in number 1. He just offers a lot in terms of his kit for both PvE, PvP, overall versatility. I think he's extremely good. Pretty much a 40% chance to stun on his skill 1, which is broken. And then this is so good. And then the ultimate, having that counter attack, can be very good, especially combined with units that have barriers and stuff too. Like, you can do some chip damage, extremely good stuff, which is why I absolutely love him. But let me know, y'all are probably gonna disagree with me on having these 3. Y'all would probably rework this, but I just had to put William as number 1. I feel like he offers the most as a support type unit. And then Voltos being number 2 for that stamina, because stamina over speed. And then Finral number 3 because of the fact that, you know, speed is quote-unquote worse than stamina. But yeah, both are extremely good. So let me know, what do y'all think? And I'll end it there. Also, again, do not miss tomorrow's video. Sub if you haven't, turn on your notifications. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, y'all, end it there. Have a good one, and I will see y'all. Peace.